Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today in this video, I'm gonna show how to fix apps crashing on AMD systems. So before starting, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then please go and subscribe to our channel and stay connected for the latest updates. So without a further ado, let's get started. If you have configured the EFI correctly for your AMD build, and a few apps you use are still crashing, then you're at the right place and this is the guide you're looking for. If you're still wondering despite having a proper EFI, why some of your apps are crashing on your AMD systems, it's not the EFI or your hardware. Certain Mac apps use the infamous Intel Math Kernel Library, MKL, libraries, now Intel One API. Although these libraries are x86 or x64 compliant, but when porting to macOS, certain functions are intended to only work on genuine Intel CPUs. As Apple never used AMD CPUs for their Mac lineups, these libraries are not available under macOS if you're using AMD CPUs. However, using the kernel patches, it is now possible to install macOS without the need for manual kernel modification. This new style of patching patches the kernel on the fly using Clover or OpenCore. Before the introduction of these patches, it was quite difficult to use macOS on AMD builds. The new patches have made significant improvements and reliability same as Intel machines. In fact, it's very easy now to boot the macOS installer on the AMD platforms. Although macOS works completely fine, provided that you have a compatible graphics card, some of the apps work normally, but on the other hand, apps that require the Intel MKL libraries do not work at all. A few of these apps can still work, such as Adobe, but at the cost of disabling some particular functions with the app. For example, Photoshop will work if you remove the camera.raw module from the app. While this works up to an extent, it's not very feasible as you might need these particular modules/functions at a later stage or from the start. In addition, these particular apps may perform slower than expected on AMD CPUs in general, including Windows and Linux, for the operations that use the Intel Math Kernel Library, MKL. This is because the Intel MKL uses a discriminative CPU dispatcher that does not use efficient code path according to SIMD support by the CPU, but based on the result of a vendor string query. If the CPU is from AMD, the MKL does not use SSE3, SSE4 or AVX12 extensions but falls back to SSE1 no matter whether the AMD CPU supports more efficient SIMD extensions like AVX2 or not. By patching the app binaries, you can make every Intel only run on AMD systems running macOS without using any hypervisor and without bypassing or deleting important functions for the specific app. Using a hex editor and hopper disassembler, these apps can be patched manually and made to work on AMD systems running macOS. However, this can be quite tedious for beginner users, but there is AMD Friend to automate the binary patching, thus making the process easier. Using AMD Friend, any apps causing problems can be patched in a few clicks and made to work on AMD systems without any issue. The success rate is very high so far. Now firstly let me show you that the system I'm using for demonstration is an AMD build. And here you can see, the CPU is AMD Ryzen 7 5700G with Radeon graphics. And now, let me show you that Adobe Lineup and few other problematic apps are working fine on this build after performing the binary patching. And as you saw, all the problematic apps, which cause crashes on AMD Hackintosh builds are working absolutely fine. Now to get any app working that crashes on AMD Hackintosh build, install the apps you need. If the app requires a license, activate it using the license key. Now after activating the app, here I'll open it, and it will crash immediately. And as you can see, the app quit unexpectedly. Now to fix this, you'll need AMD Friend. Download AMD Friend from the link under the video description and extract AMD Friend to your preferred location. Now, open the terminal and drag the AMD Friend executable to the terminal window, and then type the following as shown, and then execute the command. After the command is executed, this command will list the patchable files in a directory. Now, open a new terminal window, and then execute the command as shown. After executing the command, if the app is patched successfully, you should see something similar. You can also match the patchable files from the previous terminal window, and can check if it's patched or not. Now, quit the terminal and run your app. The app should function normally now. And as you can see, the app that was crashing previously, is working fine now. So that was it, hope it was useful. Consider like for the video, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, just comment down below, or create a thread on our forum. Make sure to check out the forum for in-depth guides. Thanks for watching and have a great day ahead.